Welcome everyone, Izu here. Today I'll be sharing some tips and tricks on how to become better at PvP in King Legacy. Keep in mind that everything I say is based on my personal experience and opinions, but I'm confident it'll still be helpful for many of you. Now, I may not be a top leaderboard PvP player in KL, but I've spent enough time playing and experimenting with different builds to give some valid insights. So let's get right into it. First up, having a good build. A solid PvP build is crucial. It defines your strategy, how you execute combos, counter your opponent, and manage fights overall. Every good PvP build should have the following: mobility skill, to dodge or reposition quickly; stun ability, to lock enemies in place; high damage skill, to deal serious damage in combos; Ken breaker, to cancel Ken Hockey and open up enemies. Never use a build that lacks even one of these key components. Let me give you an example. A build using Love V2, ATK V2, and Electro V2 is one of the best examples of a complete PvP setup. Here's why. ATK V2 provides insane mobility and a strong Ken breaker that lets you instantly close the gap and break enemy dodges. Then you follow up with Love V skills to start your combo. It stuns and drags your enemy, locking them in place. Use Love X next to keep them stunned and extend the combo. After that, throw in Love C for extra stun and overall high damage. Finally, finish the combo with Electro and ATK skills to maximize the damage output. This build is effective not just because of raw power, but because every skill works together to overwhelm your opponent. But of course, there are more good PvP builds out there. But you're the one who'll explore and experiment a good combination. Second, Ken tricking, also known as dodge tricking. A lot of players are still confused about what Ken tricking is and what it actually does. Based on my experience, fighting tons of players who constantly use this technique in PvP, it's not really that complicated once you understand the idea behind it. Let me explain it thoroughly. When you're in a PvP match, most opponents, not all but most, will try to break all your dodges first before committing to a combo. That's their usual opening strategy. They'll throw out random skills just to slowly chip away at your dodges, and once they notice you're down to 3 or fewer, that's usually when they rush in and start their combo. This is where Ken tricking becomes useful. Ken tricking is the act of manually turning your observation hockey, Ken, on and off with precise timing. The goal is to preserve your dodges and prevent your opponent from baiting them out unnecessarily. However, it requires good timing, especially when your opponent uses a stunning skill. If you deactivate your dodge at the wrong moment, you risk getting caught and stunned instantly. And be sure to turn off your dodge when you land your perfect combo, as it regains 1 to 2 dodges while executing a combo. Third, positioning. Now this one is a straightforward but very important PvP tip. As most of you already know, PvP in King Legacy mostly takes place in the air or sky. So what are the best strategies when fighting in aerial combat? It comes down to 2 main things. Either you get the high ground, or you don't chase them. I've encountered this situation many times, and honestly, I've been baited just as often. One thing you should always remember, never let your opponent stay above you. When they have the high ground, they're at a major advantage because they can see your movements clearly. They can predict your next action. They can catch you mid-move if you try to jump or dash upward. But what should you do if they already have the high ground or are flying below you to bait you? Simple. Hold your position. Stay at a lower or neutral level and wait for them to come down. Once they start dropping to reach you, that's your cue to move away, reposition, and take the high ground yourself. By doing this, you're forcing them out of their comfort zone and flipping the advantage. Mastering positioning helps you escape combos, counterattacks, and overall survive longer in fights. Fourth, train with someone who's stronger or better than you. One of the best ways to improve in PvP is to train with someone who's more skilled than you. This is honestly a double U move for both learning and leveling up your gameplay. Why? Because you're not just fighting them, you're learning from them. You get to see how they execute combos, how they use certain skills efficiently, how they time their dodges and abilities, and how they position themselves during intense fights. It's even better if the person is kind and willing to teach you. Someone who shares advanced techniques and gives you real-time feedback is way more helpful than someone who just spams kills on you without explanation. So here's a tip. If you ever lose to someone in PvP and they seem really good, don't hesitate to DM or ask them politely if they're down to train with you. Most experienced players are actually chill and happy to help if you approach them with respect. Honorable mention: passives and race abilities. Although you can win fights without relying on passives or race abilities, having them gives you a huge edge in PvP. Let's start with passives. These can give you either offensive or defensive boosts, making you much harder to kill or helping you deal more damage during combos. Here are the best passive lists for PvP. Now for races. There are more than 4 in King Legacy, but I'll only mention the 2 most useful ones for PvP. Angel V3 race. This race is incredibly strong because it can escape almost any combo. When you're getting comboed, it activates a skill that converts damage into healing and makes you invulnerable for around 10 seconds. Basically, you can recover while being attacked, giving you a second chance to fight back or reposition. Mink, Animal, V3 race. Mink is insanely fast. It's a top-tier race for bounty hunting or escape-based PvP, since most builds can't catch up to it, except maybe light V2 or gate users. If you play smart with movement, Mink gives you a serious advantage in both chasing and escaping. While other races and passives can still be useful, these 2 stand out the most for competitive PvP. Last but definitely not least, timing, observing, predicting, and aiming. These may sound simple. These 3 core skills are absolute must-haves, not just for PvP and King Legacy, but even in other games and real-life decision-making. Let's break them down. Observing and timing. Good observation, not the Ken hockey one, but actual player awareness, is one of your greatest weapons. You need to watch your opponent's behavior, track which abilities they've used, and know when they'll be on cooldown. That's your chance to strike back, start a combo, or bait a response. Timing is everything. A well-timed dodge, a perfectly placed stun, or landing your combo right after their move ends can turn the whole fight around. Prediction. It works both offense and defense. If you can read your opponent's pattern, you can counter their attack before it lands, punish them when they least expect it, or dodge and escape without wasting Ken hockey. But prediction isn't magic. It takes practice, experience, and confidence. Once you build that muscle, you'll start controlling the flow of the fight instead of reacting to it. Last is aiming, and it's often underrated. Always aim to end 100% of your skills. Learn the range of your abilities, the hitbox size, delay or wind up before impact, and how to chain them together smoothly. Missing one key skill can break your combo and leave you wide open, so practice your aim, especially for small hitbox abilities or long-range attacks. Of course, there are still many more tips and tricks out there that I didn't cover in this video, so if you've got some of your own, feel free to drop them in the comments. Let's help each other improve and learn more together. If you found this video helpful or learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Thanks for watching.